Hey everyone, Mystical Mark here. So this will be your weekly astrology forecast for the week of April 13th to the 19th of 2025. Now, before we get into the charts for this week here, I'm sorry for, my wet hair and everything going on here. I feel like I'm coming down with a cold. I'm a bit tired today. This isn't normally when I record this, but this is the only time I kind of have left. So got to squeeze this in here, and there's people making noise outside and stuff. So hopefully, this works. I've just got to, just go in and just do it. So, all right. So sorry if my voice is maybe not up to par this week, but I'm just going to do my best and plug through here with this video. So thank you for your patience on that. So before we head into the charts here, I just got to let everybody know, if you're looking for a reading with me, my link is in the description below, in my bio if you're on TikTok. If you're looking to support me on Ko-Fi at all, there's memberships there. And there is the highest tier membership is the Planetarium membership. And I do want to mention this, as with that membership, it also, excuse me, sorry, voice thing. With that membership, there's weekly live streams involved in that, about 1 to 2 hours, probably once a week, every Wednesday afternoon. And they will be like private live streams. They're done through YouTube, but they'll be private, unlisted live streams just for those members, where you can ask me basically any questions regarding the weekly astrology videos, including, we can talk about your own charts and stuff like that. Obviously, I can't do like a full chart reading for you, as multiple people are going to have questions, and I may not even get it to everyone depending on who's all in there. But that is the type of offering that I have, so people can, talk in the chat with me. There's even an option on Discord if you want to have like an actual voice chat with me to actually ask questions in that way. We can do that as well, either going through your chart or going through main stuff, like the mundane astrology or whatever else people want to ask me. So that option is there and available to everyone. And of course, if you are looking to join the Discord itself is free. The link is in the description below. If you are on TikTok, all of these links that I'm talking about, they are listed in my bio, but the best option for you is probably to just go to my link tree, because absolutely everything is there, rather than having to, because the links aren't clickable there. Sorry, that's TikTok. But you can just go to my link tree, and then absolutely everything is there, and you will be good to go. All right. And of course, the simplest and easiest way to help is just like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, hit that follow button here if you're on TikTok, and it helps the algorithm to push this to more people. All right. With all that said, again, as I tend to get stuff through intuitively when I do these videos, you have to remember that anything that is a future prediction that comes out of my mouth based on future events or anything specific like that is always subject to change, okay? As we have free will. My guidance has been, and likely always will be, astrology is an energetic template conducive to certain things. It deals with the natural cycles of the universe, all right? Meaning, the cycles are conducive to certain energies, conducive to certain events happening. However, the specifics of that are usually up to us, okay? And sometimes up to our guides, up to source, that kind of stuff. But it's still malleable. So things can shift and change because we do have free will. However, that energetic template or that energetic vibe of the time is still, there's still stuff is going to happen in that way. All right. So with all that being said, let me pull up the chart here fully on my end, and we can start this week. Okay, so we're going to start here on Sunday, April 13th. Now, the only thing that I have shown here today that is peaking is this sun here in Aries. Anyway, I've already said I feel like I'm coming down with a cold, so please be patient and forgive me for that. Sun here in biquintile to Juno retrograde there in Sagittarius. Now, with this, interesting that the sun here is still in this conjunction to Chiron. Right at the day after this full moon in Aries, right after Venus is going direct. And my guidance kind of prior to recording this video is we're kind of moving forward now. We're really moving forward in a new direction here. And remember, I've talked previously about this nodal configuration as well, South Node Virgo, North Node in Pisces, is that South Node in Virgo, what seems practical isn't going to be practical to us anymore. What's our normal day-to-day, practical, all of that, just isn't going to fly anymore. We're heading into the unknown. We're moving into unknown territory. We're creating something new. Pisces is also that seed of creativity, that imagination, that kind of stuff, right? So we're headed, but it's also the unknown, it's the veil. So we're heading into that space. Okay, and Sun conjunct Chiron, this is healing a lot of aspects. What I'm hearing is sovereignty, number one, and also that aspect of self-identity and this masculine that I've talked about in previous videos that is being healed as well. And that's the divine masculine within all of us. Everyone, of course, has both divine masculine and divine feminine energy within all of us. And that's regardless of your actual physical sex or gender or sexual orientation or any of that. That, of course, is all still valid. But we have both of those energies that exist within all of us. Now, with this Sun conjunct Chiron here in this biquintile to that Juno, it kind of feels like, again, it's relating to this global stuff that is going on, but there's like behind the scenes. This biquintile is related to behind the scenes, maybe creative work behind the scenes that is occurring. Almost feels like fated, but to me this feels like something that we don't know. It's like we don't know the purpose or the reason behind a lot of what is going on. And it's very, okay, a burp there, pay attention to that. Okay, that's usually the guide saying pay attention to that. So we don't know a lot of what is going on here. And again, with Juno, that's dealing with contracts. That can be business contracts, marriage contracts, any kind of partnership or committed type of partnership or contract. Okay? And in Sagittarius, we're dealing with the expansion of that, but what I feel from this is like on a global scale. Sagittarius is kind of the world, whereas Gemini, the opposite of that, is more of like our local environment. Okay, I'm also being drawn to the ruler of Sagittarius, Jupiter, is in Gemini. All right, so what the global stuff is going on affecting our local environment. All right, and the expansion of awareness of that, and also maybe communications and talks and the expansion of that surrounding those things. All right, as just a general energy here. Okay, but it feels like there's something going on behind the scenes here. Maybe it seems you could consider it fate, but remember we create our fate, right? But it feels like there's something just happening that is kind of being hidden. And it's this aspect of identity, sovereignty, individuality, etc. through whatever this review is, of whatever these contracts, partnerships, whatever that can be, businesses, socio-political, economic stuff, whatever. That's kind of what I feel this is on that more global kind of a scale. In conjunct Chiron here, there's very much a wound to that idea of either independence, sovereignty, the word that's coming through is like freedom. Of course, that relates to sovereignty, that kind of stuff really happening here. It's like there's a wound there with this full moon. It's like there was something released. I feel like that maybe was more on an individual level, but I'm feeling that it's also on maybe a more global level as well. But sometimes maybe you need it to be triggered in order to release that, or something needs to happen in order to release old codependencies or old dependencies on things and whatever. There's something going on here with this energy. But like I said, with this biquintile here, we don't necessarily really know. Okay, sorry about that. There was, the whole thing crashed again. I've been having these issues throughout this entire like Mercury retrograde and now Mercury post shadow, I guess. I thought I had the problem fixed. I guess not. It just sorry. I'm kind of annoyed right now. Again, I don't like it when this happens, but here we are. Anyway, as I was saying, just regarding the sun in this biquintile here to Juno, again, there's something going on here that we don't know the full story behind this. Basically, it's something that's hidden, something that's being worked on behind the scenes regarding whatever these contracts and stuff are that are happening based on whatever this wound is that is likely being healed. Okay, surrounding these acts of, or this idea of sovereignty, freedom, that kind of stuff. However, what the reason is for that, how this is why this is happening, what is going on, nobody well, there's people that know, but it's like it's still being hidden here, right? And I feel like I'm being drawn to this aspect of we still got a lot going on here in Pisces. And to be honest, I'm kind of tired of all the Pisces. Like, don't worry, I love you all Pisces, okay? Pisces is great, but it's just the amount of chaos and the amount of craziness that I think we've all been through. It's like, we just fucking had enough. Just tell us what's going on already. But what I'm getting again is actually we're kind of stuck with this energy for a while because we have the North Node here. Okay, we have to get used to heading into this unknown energy. We have to get used to not knowing. It's almost like, you know, what was practical isn't going to be practical anymore. What we knew as like this grounded stableness it's not what it's going to be anymore. Okay, we're heading into this new unknown direction that's being created. I'm hearing that's being created now as we move forward, right? We're not used to this. We're used to just this stuck. This is how you have to do this. This is this. We're not used to this. I almost wanted to say this aspect of freedom. Really. And maybe that's what a lot of what is being healed here in some way as well. And we'll get into this a bit more as we talk about Mars coming into Leo, etc. So I'm just going to leave it there for Sunday for now. Let's move on to Monday the 14th here. On Monday the 14th, we're going to have this Sun here. Interestingly, Sun in this semi-sextile to Venus, but also in this semi-sextile to Uranus as well. Okay, so what's kind of coming through here is this sense of uniqueness, okay, another thing that's coming through, okay, sense of uniqueness, individuality as we relate to Uranus as the ruler of Aquarius in Taurus, sign of value and worth. This can also relate to this unstableness surrounding aspects of money, that kind of stuff. All right, and that also relates to Venus because you have to remember Venus rules Taurus. Venus is in Pisces. So what I'm getting with Venus in Pisces is it's like this, it's kind of like this all over the place kind of an energy, okay? Just bear with me. All over the place kind of an energy that again is relating to the Sun in Aries conjunct this Chiron energy. We're heading into this new direction, but we're dealing a lot with, as it comes to value and worth, as it pertains on an individual level to maybe our own individuality, uniqueness, the expression of that in terms of healing our own aspect of identity where we've been wounded in that sense of self. However, on a more global scale, this is dealing with everything that we've already been seeing that is going on, okay, on an economic level. All right, and political, so whatever. And I'm not here to get into any politics or talk about the divisiveness or anything. This is the message that is coming through. This is what I'm saying, okay? There's no sides when I'm talking about this, all right? Obviously, you know, take a stand where you need to take a stand, but at the same time, for me, my guidance has always kind of been politics is a manipulation to make people fight each other, okay? So I'm not here for that, and I'm not promoting any kind of division tactics or fighting because it's like the saying goes, you know, divided we fall, united we stand. That's kind of what they're trying to do here, because the more that we're divided and pushed into aspects of fear and anger and those negative emotions, the more that certain people have control. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so I'm just saying the message that's coming through here. And whatever is happening is whatever is happening for whatever reason, all right? This is how these energies are being used. This isn't kind of an aspect of fate. It can seem that way, but again, we create our fate. But I'm being drawn again here to this biquintile to Juno. There's stuff going on behind the scenes here that we don't know. There's a lot that we don't know, especially with a lot of this Pisces energy. There's a lot that we don't know, okay? And there's an aspect of Pisces that comes with trust and faith. And trust me, I deal with this in like the same way as everybody else as well, but I also have this understanding, and I'm getting, you know, get these messages saying, okay, but we have to trust going through this, even though, you know, it's difficult. It honestly is. Sometimes it's difficult to just throw caution to the wind and just have blind faith about certain things, but in some ways you have to, and in some ways, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. You got to listen to your own heart and do what's best for you 100%. 100 fucking percent. Okay? I'm not here to tell anybody what to do, but what I am trying to do is get the message and send it out as to what is coming through here. Okay? All right, so with this Sun conjunct Chiron here, again, with this semi-sextile to Venus, like I said, those wounds, as Venus is the ruler of Taurus, is what I was getting at before. In Pisces, it's like this all over the place kind of energy surrounding, it feels like more of an economic level in terms of, In terms of our sense of self and how that can relate to maybe this rebirth of this masculine energy or this reworking of self-identity, watch my previous videos if you want to know what I'm talking about with that. That seems to be maybe like a bit more stable in a way. Oddly enough, it's just the world is not stable right now. Well, I don't really think it ever really was. I think like I said, there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we don't know. Okay, and we need to just kind of leave it, like understand that there's a lot that we don't know, and until we know, and that might not be for a while, or maybe, I don't know, right? Again, I don't know. We don't know certain things, and I'm only getting what I'm getting. I'm only being delivered the message that is to be sent out that we need to hear at this time. I'm not being told anything that we're not meant to hear yet. Okay, all right. So that's kind of that. Remember, with semi-sextile aspects, they're either kind of working against each other or for each other. It can go either way. Okay, but there's an opportunity here. I feel like it kind of feels like, in a sense, I want to say both. They're working for and against each other, depending on who's involved, what's involved, and what's going on. Okay, remember, astrology is an energetic template conducive to certain things. This is how we use this energy. Okay, how we're using these unique dynamic cycles in terms of what we want to manifest, build, and create, and what we want to do in our world, right? And I'm feeling that, yeah, with these, it can go either way. It's both in terms of what's going on, whether that's individually or collectively, globally, sociopolitically, economically, etc. Okay, so that is Monday the 14th. Let's move on to Tuesday the 15th here. And we're going to have the Sun here now in semi-sextile to Saturn. Okay, and then Mercury in trine to Juno, which is now retrograded back into Scorpio. All right, so, and it's supposed to show me that on this list. You guys know, if you've watched me already, that I'm annoyed by this little app that does this, because the thing is, I don't like to do too much work looking at this beforehand. I get the guidance, and I get guidance while I'm doing this, so it's all coming out all at once as it flows. I don't like to try to look too much beforehand and make notes and do all this, because then your ego mind gets involved in all that. I like to just get it as it comes. And that's why I like to use apps like this that tell me things as they're going to be happening, so that I don't have to look at all this stuff beforehand, because that's also a lot of work, number one, although I could do it. But it's like I said, I just want the message to flow. I don't want to be dealing with ego mind bullshit. Anyways, Sun and semi-sextile to Saturn. Now, one thing that I was getting before is I've always said Saturn in Pisces is the dissolution of this malefic energy, okay? So it's that erosion of that structure of Saturn, okay? We're still dealing with, I'm being drawn to this Sun conjunct Chiron, still within that 3-degree conjunction there, okay? And with a semi-sextile to Saturn, still in semi-sextile to Venus, still in semi-sextile to Uranus, okay? And it looks like Uranus is still in sextile to Saturn. All right, so there's a lot, and I said Uranus sextile Saturn was like that shattering, like that sledgehammer on stone as it cracks. And in Pisces, the water comes in to try to help to separate and erode and break things apart and flow those little bits away. All right, so that's the kind of vibe of this. And with the Sun conjunct Chiron dealing with, it may be hurtful going through this. It might hurt. It's gonna hurt, and I think we have hurt. It's gonna hurt. But at the same time, it's almost like ripping off a Band-Aid, or like pulling out the stitches, or even just putting in the stitches, because you need them in order to heal the wound. So yeah, like it's gonna hurt. You might need, like whatever that freezing is or whatever that has to happen. I've never had stitches, thankfully, but and then you gotta like sew it back up, okay? But it's gonna hurt before it's gonna feel better. Okay, it's like it's gonna hurt before, but it's dissolving whatever the old structure is, whatever that negative structure that wasn't actually properly serving us in some way. And as that deals with our identity, sovereignty, etc. There's a lot of wound healing that's going on here, and there was a big release surrounding codependencies and aspects of this on that past full moon in Libra, as well as Venus going direct, moving out of retrograde, going direct right after that. Literally, I think it was like 40 minutes after that full moon, Venus direct. So there was that release, and then it's like shifted. We're moving forward now. Okay. And what's interesting and what I was guided to surrounding doing this week's video was the card, the daily card. I do daily card shorts on YouTube as well as I'm starting Instagram Reels now, as well as on TikTok, where I pull up a daily oracle card for the day. And we got the Dreamer or the Fool card in traditional tarot. So we're starting a new cycle. There's a new cycle being started here. And I feel like we'll get into more of this as the sun comes into Taurus, but I'll kind of just let the cat out of the bag now, that it's going to feel like we're kind of grounding in a new era or a new beginning of something or a new cycle. Okay. And it relates to the end of the previous week where we were beginning anew with that Venus direct. We've begun a new cycle. Remember, Venus, I'm getting drawn to the fact that Venus rules Taurus, and it's the beginning of that. And Venus is now direct, still post-shadow, but beginning of that new cycle where we're reworking what that Venus retrograde has brought up in a lot of ways. Okay, and of course Mercury is still in shadow, Mars still in shadow. There's a lot of this stuff that is, reworking and being brought up in a lot of these ways as well here. All right, so we got to be mindful of that. And things are going to hurt, but ultimately it's for healing. Really, this Sun conjunct Chiron, like, you got to face the wound in order to heal it in a lot of ways. And that's Scorpio too. That's Scorpio. That's that aspect of transformation and healing in that way. You got to face it in order to transform and be reborn again, free and clear of, that old bullshit, right? And of course, also on this day, speaking of that, we have Mercury here at 29 degrees of Pisces in trine now to Juno retrograde, now in Scorpio, where there's a transformation of whatever those committed partnerships, contracts, all of that stuff through this retrograde back, they're transforming, it's changing. And it could be death. The part of it that I'm kind of getting is that there might be a death to some of those things, because that's Scorpio as well. Scorpio also rules death. So there could be an ending that comes through with some of that, as in that complete full transformation relating to that ending or being transformed in some way. And it's through whatever has happened during this Mercury retrograde, which honestly has been a lot. We went through eclipses, we went through all of that stuff. And at 29 degrees here, we're dealing with an intense degree, that aneretic degree, where it's like, oh my God, we have to do something and we have to do it now. It kind of feels like that. But there's this expansion of awareness as well. Jupiter is in Mercury sign here and communication. I'm hearing communication of whatever that is. And it's kind of like this chaos. It's the unknown. It's like, oh my God, where the fuck are we going? We haven't had to do this before, blah, 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 blah. But there's this reworking of like these commitments, partnerships, contracts, all of this stuff. And I'm being drawn to the fact that Mercury is kind of in conjunction here to the North Node, still opposing the South Node. I'm being drawn to this opposition, South Node and Virgo, as in what has been practical is not practical anymore and will no longer be. All right. So that's the vibe for Tuesday there, the 15th. And remember, this is when this energy peaks. It's not like these things are playing out still before and after the peaks of these transits. So just be mindful of that as well. Move on to Wednesday, the 16th here, where we're going to have Mercury now moving back into Aries. Okay. You can see Mercury 0 degrees Aries, conjunct Neptune. All right. And we're going to have Mercury conjunct Neptune on this day as well, as it comes back into Aries. So Mercury is beginning to, it's direct now, starting to pick up speed, move forward, coming back online. Neptune is now in Aries. So it's Mercury conjunct Neptune. It's new. What it feels is, like I said, there's the word new. There's something new, because not only is Neptune in a new sign after like a 14-year cycle, but Mercury is now direct, and we've started this new, like I said, it was like that Fool card, that Dreamer card. We've started like this new thing that's going on now, this new direction that we're heading in. But it's still, what I'm getting now is it's unknown. There's an aspect of known. It's new, it's unknown. Remember Neptune, Pisces, that fog, that illusion. It's new, but it's unknown. The fact that it's new, I'm being drawn to the fact that Aries is a cardinal sign. We're heading in a new direction. Okay? Then there's this aspect of, but it's unknown because of that Neptune Piscean energy. And we're dealing with the mind, which can kind of freak out over that kind of stuff. And it's like new, it's unknown. We're like, It's like this, you don't know what to say, right? Mercury is the planet of communication. Like, you don't know what to say. Okay, you're moving into this, but you don't know what to say. You just like, I don't know, because I've never had to do this before. I don't know, because this is totally new to me. So burping there, pay attention to that. Guides maybe want to get that message across. It's like, I don't know, this is new to me. We're moving in this, but we don't have a choice. We got to do it. We're doing it. Right? And being drawn to the fact, again, here Mercury is still in trine to that Juno retrograde now in Scorpio. Changed regarding these committed partnerships, contracts, whatever, etc. You're heading into the unknown, but we got no choice anymore. We got to deal with it. Okay? Another thing that's happening today is, of course, the sun here, still in conjunction to Chiron, okay? In this semi-sextile to the North Node in Pisces, as well as in quincunx to the South Node in Virgo. So okay, what I'm definitely getting with this is there is a frustration here and something that needs to be strongly integrated in terms of the letting go of what's been deemed as practical. A lot of the old world stuff is dying. It is falling away. What deemed as practical is not practical any longer. And there's a lot of people that are frustrated by it. A lot because that's all they ever knew. But we have to understand as well that a lot of those systems and things and that stuff, it never actually had our best interests at heart, nor did it ever really properly serve us. So the fact that it's falling away, is that necessarily a bad thing? Right? It can feel bad going through it. Again, Sun conjunct Chiron, dealing with these wounds of sovereignty, identity, self, all of this. But it's triggering that to come up to be healed. But at the same time, like I said before, it might hurt as we're going through it. 100% it might hurt as we're going through it. So we still have this semi-sextile to Saturn as well, the dissolution of this. Saturn is still in sextile to Uranus, that shattering of things. Sun conjunct Chiron, there's an opportunity here. It's like, okay, we're highlighting this. There's an opportunity here where we can work together here with healing these wounds of sovereignty to move forward into this unknown. But I'm feeling, it's just moving forward in this unknown direction. There's an opportunity here to kind of have this energy work together, I think is what I'm saying. But people they have a hard time in letting go. There's this hard time in letting go. There's this frustration. There's this, how the fuck are we going to do this? How do I integrate this? Oh my God, but it's like, like I said with that Mercury on Neptune there, it's like we don't have a choice anymore. We're heading into the unknown. It's like, you can't talk. You can't talk. It's like that Mercury, that planet of communication. You can't talk. You can't think because you've never had to deal with this before. And Mercury doesn't know what the fuck to do. The ego mind is like, it's freaking out because it doesn't know what to do because it doesn't have faith and trust. Okay, the Neptune Pisces doesn't have faith and trust. It doesn't have faith in the unknown. Just because you can't see your destination doesn't mean that you aren't going to get there. All right? That's that vibe. And people are, it's like almost like that triggering of like that fear because they have to have it like practical and in place and all in this way. It's like that Virgo, like OCD. Oh my God, I have to have this or it's not going to, it's freaking out. And then, but you have to let go of that. That has to let go of. And there's this integration of that. And that's triggering that wound and the wounds and it's hurting coming up and blah, 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 blah. Everybody's like freaking out. Oh my God. Okay, but we're moving into a new direction. Oh, we don't have a choice anymore. We don't have a choice anymore. And that's the message that's coming through. All right, that's Wednesday the 16th, Thursday the 17th. So this is when we're going to have, it doesn't show yet, but very late in the evening, 10:20 p.m. Central Time, not Central Daylight, Central Time, is when Mars is going to come back into Leo. Now, with this Mars coming back into Leo, initially through this Mars retrograde, if you go way back, watch my previous videos when Mars initially went retrograde, with Mars and Leo, I talked about this expression of the masculine, okay? And the masculine was basically having to take a good hard look at itself in terms of healing itself, and in Leo in terms of its expression, in Cancer in terms of like that emotional aspect, releasing, dealing with those emotions, coming to terms with a lot of things, and basically getting rid of the societal expectations of what a man should be in a lot of ways, right? And understanding the uniqueness and individuality that exists within even just the concept of masculinity. Masculinity is like an energy, it's a vibe, right? But everyone is still their unique individual person. Okay, so, and like I said, we all have this divine masculine and divine feminine energy within all of us. And of course, with Mars now coming back into Leo, we can see this opposition again building to Pluto and Aquarius as we deal with transforming and healing this aspect of the masculine. Now is still in post shadow. As it's moving forward now, it's like this new expression coming online, this new expression of the masculine, this new expression, and I'm feeling and hearing from the heart that is now coming. Okay, we're back. Okay, again, sorry guys. Everything just kind of crashed again. But one thing that I got guidance this time as it kind of happened, I feel like there's something that's trying to stop me from whatever message is coming through in this video. As weird as that may sound, as odd as that may sound, so I've asked for a bit more protection now while I do this. Hopefully we're going to be okay. I'm going to jump back into this, all right? So, something about whatever message in here for whatever people need to hear, that something doesn't want this out. So, if you like this video, please share it. Anyways, like I said, with this Mars now coming into Leo, this new expression of this aspect of masculinity, all right? And with this opposition to Pluto, it's like the death of the old and the birth of the new. Mars is still in post shadow, and we're moving forward. It's that building up. Whatever was re-looked at with that retrograde, now it's that new kind of started with that re-looking at, okay, we're still kind of reworking, but with the new, we're kind of building up with the new going forward, it's fully online, but you're still, it's like that car analogy I talked about previously in other previous videos where you get a new car, you're still not used to all the new features, but you're using it every day because you need to. It's that kind of thing. All right. And of course, with this idea of Pluto and Aquarius, this idea of uniqueness, individuality, of like you are a unique individual person and you allow the other person to express that as well. Okay. So it's like you don't have to fit into some stupid fucking bullshit mold of masculinity. Okay. The masculine, like I said, what I'm getting guided to is that masculine energy. It's a vibe. It's an energy. Okay. It's a vibe. And it expressed in that area of confidence, support, all that stuff that we can consider as masculine, but it's shifting it into a higher vibration of a loving way. But that can be expressed in any way, right? You're still your unique individual person. It's like, maybe you're a dude that likes to wear makeup, for example. Doesn't have to be like full blown, or maybe it is full blown, or maybe you like to wear nail polish, or some of that is in your own unique self-expression, but that doesn't make you any less of a man, regardless of what your sexual orientation is. I mean, gay men have been doing this for a fucking long ass time, but straight men like to do it, right? Because it's that idea of unique individual self-expression. It doesn't matter like what genitals you like or what's between your legs. It's your aspect of expression. You can still be a man and go and do and stand up for what's right and express those confident masculine behaviors and still have paint on your nails. Okay? That doesn't change who you are, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at here. And I'm not saying that every man has to go paint their nails or something. Like, no. Like, if that's your vibe, that's your vibe. If it's not, it's not. Okay? What this is understanding and expressing your uniqueness and individuality now from this masculine level. It's healing that energy of that part of ourselves so that we don't have to fit into some fucked up bullshit of what society has told us to be. Remember, I have said what we've thought has been practical and has been like, you have to fit this and fit this in this certain specific OCD way, and it has to be this way or else, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, that's not what this is going to be anymore. We're moving into Pisces. We're moving into the unknown, where anything is fucking possible. Anything's possible in Pisces. There's no limit to Pisces. There's no limit to creativity. Okay? And it's the unknown. It's the veil. We don't know where the fuck we're going, but you know what? You can do anything in this realm. You can't here. You're getting bent over and fucked up the ass without consent here. But here, you can do whatever. Okay? And again, that's that idea of sovereignty, freedom, etc. Remember, Mars rules Aries. And that expression of that now from the heart, that soul expression of that uniqueness, individuality, etc. Stuff is coming online. We're moving forward here now. That aspect of this Aries stuff is now being solely expressed in the spotlight again. Healing that aspect of sovereignty. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes we got to go through fucking hell to get there. Again, Sun conjunct Chiron, all of this Chiron stuff, this related stuff. Pluto, like, I said Pluto because I'm being drawn to this aspect of Scorpio in terms of maybe the wound, or this aspect of transformation that I talked about before with the wounding and all of that. That's kind of the vibe that's here. It's a bit of like a Scorpio vibe, but we're not really in Scorpio season, okay? But it's still kind of wild and chaotic and all of this stuff going on, okay? But we're heading into a new space, heading into a new direction in this way. All right. Speaking of Pluto, on this day as well, we have Jupiter here in sesqui-square to Pluto in Aquarius. So there's something here regarding what I'm feeling is big ass. We're forced into some kind of communication or this expansion or the word I heard was like awakening of the mind. Awakening of the mind. Being drawn to Pluto here in Aquarius. That aspect of awakening. Uranus is in Taurus. This could be an awakening through aspects of the financial system or value or worth, that kind of stuff that is pushing for this strong awakening and transformation. And with this sesqui-square to Jupiter in Gemini, that strong expansion of awareness, of communication, forcing that mind to now see, right? This sesqui-square is a super square. It's known as a super square, okay? It pushes for resolution. It's stuff that can no longer be swept under the rug. It can no longer be swept under the rug any fucking longer. It's this, and we're dealing with Pluto here and now Jupiter. And Jupiter expands what it touches. So it's expanding this Pluto in Aquarius through this very strong aspect in astrology here. So this is pushing for this transformation through whatever this is. So I don't know what's going to happen like financially with, you know, all of the stuff that's going on, or with this aspect of our own identity, self-worth, all of that. But shift stuff is like, it's changing stuff. Like, I wanted to almost say unstable. Right? But it's pushing for this awakening and this expansion of awareness, and almost like this destruction of the ego mind, because you are heading into this unknown place. Mercury still in conjunct to Neptune here, this unknown, this new place. It's like, I don't know what to say. We don't know. But it's like the ego cannot handle it anymore. It's like you have to expand beyond that. You have to expand beyond that. You have to expand into trust, knowledge, source, spirit, whatever, in order to truly understand what the fuck is going on. All right, there is no hiding it anymore. This is like pushing for this, like, we got to move, we're going forward now. And again, I'm being drawn on an individual level. This can relate to aspects of our own value and self-worth and the expansion, the awareness of that, and not giving a fuck about what anybody else thinks. All right, we also have Mars in trine to Juno, now retrograde back into Scorpio. All right, Mars here. I mean, so this trine peaks before Mars heads into Leo. So it's at this 29 degrees, this anaretic degree. Again, this transformation of whatever those contracts, partnerships are, I'm feeling as it relates to whatever this masculine vibe is. It's like we're moving forward into this new masculine vibe, which means whatever commitments, contracts, partnerships, whatever that was related to the old things, they either need to die or be transformed in some way, because this new masculine expression can't deal with the old ones that existed previously any longer. All right, this is a trine. This is positive, because as this masculine gets rebirthed and reborn in this way, this is a positive moving forward, a positive expression of this stuff. All right. Okay, so now we're also going to have Venus in... No, we're not. Never mind. This app, it deals with things shifting from like waxing and waning, and I just mistaken it for an actual peak in transit. So we won't discuss that today. So, yeah, that looks to be all for Thursday here. So let's move on to Friday the 18th. We have nothing major peaking here on Friday the 18th, so let's move on to Saturday the 19th. And of course, this is the day where we're going to have Sun entering into Taurus at 1:56 p.m. Central. With the Sun coming into Taurus, my guidance that I was getting prior to the start of this video, sometimes I get guidance like before. It's not usually a long time before, it's usually like same day of, before I record this, stuff starts to come through, that it's like, okay, say this in your video, okay, this is what, stuff that's coming through regarding certain transits and things and whatever else, okay, which is why I don't like to look at this very much beforehand, because I know I got to say the message as I'm getting it, what's coming through. Sometimes I'm, vetted or like told certain things before I jump into this to help me get a head start, and then more stuff comes through, etc. Right? So with this now, Sun coming into Taurus, this is very grounded, fixed, grounded energy. Okay, Taurus is a fixed sign. This is fixed, grounded energy. And my guidance was we are now grounding in this new vibe. So this new aspect of this masculine that is now coming through here, right? In Leo. And it's actually, you know, we can see it's not quite peaking yet, but there's like this square here that is between the Sun and Mars. So this is, again, this is pushing that grounding in, maybe that new masculine aspect. We're dealing with both fixed energies here, Taurus and Leo, fixed energy. That square, pushing for resolution, pushing for something to happen. I know that I'm not seeing this peaking or anything on this day, but I feel guided to just mention this as that square is happening with that new masculine still imposed shadow coming online. And that's the masculine within all of us. We all have that divine masculine energy within all of us, regardless of your physical gender, sexuality, sexual orientation, whatever, gender expression, whatever. Again, that is all still valid, but that energy exists within all of us, okay? So we're grounding in this new. And of course, what I'm being drawn to again is Mars rules Aries. This is also the new aspect of that self-identity regarding that Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, all of that stuff that occurred there. Watch my previous videos regarding all of that. All right, surrounding this rebirth, this reactivation of self in a way, right? This rebirths of self, reworking of that self, that identity, and of course how that relates to that masculine-esque part of that identity as well. All right, so we're grounding in the new. We're started this new cycle. Again, it's like that dreamer card at the end of last week. We're starting this new cycle, or grounding, not starting, it's already started. It's grounding it in now. It's like planting it into the ground. I was going, why is he planting that seed, but not really? Because it's like it's already growing. It's like putting a stake into the ground. It's like you know, you go to the moon and conquer the moon or something, and you put the flag there. It's like, this is my flag, this is my place. Okay, that's kind of what that is. Okay, but we're not really, okay, this world belongs to all of us, all right? It's not, shouldn't be conquering anything, but it's like, what I'm trying to say is it's grounding in that new vibe, that new energy. All right, we also have Juno retrograde here in a biquintile to Chiron. Okay, so there's something here surrounding whatever previously has come up, surrounding these wounds to identity, self, sovereignty, freedom, that kind of stuff in Aries, or that masculine stuff, that relates to now this reworking, this transformation. So in order to heal these wounds, whatever these committed partnerships, contracts were, etc., either need to die, end, or be transformed in some way. Rework, and because Juno's retrograde, it's that reworking of that, which could mean a death or an ending, as this also is existing in the sign of Scorpio. And this is happening behind the scenes. Okay, it's a biquintile. This is a very feminine, creative energy, but that usually happens behind the scenes, can be fated. But remember, we create our fate, okay, through manifestation, all right? But this feels to me like it's very behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, behind the scenes, behind the scenes. We may not fully know and understand what the fuck is going on here surrounding, it could even be the wounds or the destruction of whatever these committed partnerships or contracts are, or the death or ending of them. There's something that behind the scenes, there's something we don't know here that is occurring with this. All right. Also on this day, we have the Sun in the Sun in quincunx now to Juno retrograde as well, now in Taurus. So again, what I feel with this quincunx is it's that integration, okay? It's like that quincunx is like these energies that don't normally get along, but you have to integrate it in some way. There's an integration here of this frustration. It's frustrating, but it's like, too bad. There's an integration here. I'm being drawn almost like the stubbornness of Taurus, so counting this in, it's like, too bad. We're got to do it. Okay, with this quincunx. All right, to that Juno retrograde there, of whatever the death or endings or transformations are of whatever those contracts, partnerships, whatever that is, as we ground in and we head into this new space, it's like, too bad, this is happening, integrate it, deal with it. Okay, we also have Mercury here, still in shadow, now at 2 degrees, still in that conjunction to Neptune though, in quincunx now to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. So, okay, we're back again. Sorry, this is... There's something really trying to fuck with me here, and it's really fucking pissing me off. So, let's finish this and get get this done and out. And obviously this is the message in this video is something that people maybe actually need to hear. So if you want to share this, please share this. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff, because there's something doesn't want me to do this, which means I need to do this. So let's finish. All right, getting into the chart here again. I was talking about Mercury in quincunx to Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio, Black Moon Lilith where we've been outcast. And now there's some idiot outside making a bunch of noise. I'm still going to keep talking because I know the gain on this mic is up enough that that shouldn't bother you, although you might still hear it. But that person can fuck off. Okay, I'm trying to do a video here. Anyways. So, Black Moon Lilith is where we feel outcast. In Scorpio now, this is the transformation and ultimate healing of that. Okay, I'm being drawn to the fact that Mercury conjunct Neptune, this is heading into the new. It's that mind, it's like, oh my God, we're moving into this new space. But it's like, there's an integration here of this transformation of where we've been outcast. It's like, no, we can't be shoved out in those ways anymore. It's like, there's now this awareness and trying to move into this new space. It's like, we can't be in these old spaces anymore. We're not in that space. It has to be now transformed into some way, into the new way, whatever now. I just can't believe everything that has happened in terms of me recording this video. Thankfully, we're nearly at the end here, and hopefully everything that I've already recorded isn't lost. All right. We also are going to have Mars here in trine to Neptune. So, okay, one thing that's coming through here is like this softening. There's the softening to love. All right, in terms of this masculine energy, okay? It's not this hard, angry, we have to fight each other, hate each other, you gotta be a man and, you know, swear and hate and do all this negative, bad shit. It's like, no, you don't have to do all that to be a man. You don't have to fight, you don't have to go to war, you don't have to do any of that. It's softening to love. It's standing up for what's right. It's supporting what's in your own heart. Supporting what's in your own heart. It's not hating on the feminine, it's supporting the feminine. It's not hating on those who are different, it's supporting those who are different. That opposition to Pluto right there, okay? It's support, loving from the heart, that new masculine coming online, standing up for what's right. I'm being drawn again, it's like that power of Archangel Michael, coming from that place of love, that strength, that honor, that higher strength and honor, of not just going and killing and doing whatever. It's standing up for what is fucking right, and not the fucked up bullshit that we've had to deal with in the world previously, okay? So I'm getting pissed off at all that has tried to stop me here and all that is going on, and I'm saying the message as it's coming to me. I'm just really getting the point across here. Okay, really getting the point across. Okay, but that's with that trine to Neptune. Remember, this is a positive vibe, positive energy, and like I said previously in previous videos as well, with Neptune coming into Aries, it was like that softening of like that. What I'm being guided to is a warrior type energy. It's softening to love. It's softening to love. Okay, it's moving into this new higher vibrational space where we're more connected to source, more connected to love. And we have to stop fighting each other. We have to stop fighting each other. We have to stop all the negative bullshit. We have to through that is reworking and getting rid of that old aspect, that old masculinity, that old aspect of identity. Of course, Mars, Aries is also that aspect of self, that identity. It's that new version of self that's more in tune with maybe that higher vibration of love and all of that, and is able to fight for love, but in a positive way, right? We're doing this in a positive way. This isn't just going at each other, you know, strangling each other, at each other's throats kind of thing. Like, it's not that. It's fighting for what's right. It's having that compassion, that understanding for each other, but from that masculine vibe as well. It's like that masculine supporting the feminine, that masculine supporting what is right, that masculine supporting all of that from that place of love, from that higher place of love, from that higher divine place. We're moving up. We're not going down. All right? I am going to end it there. Okay, this has been one hell of a video. All right, not only is this, I'm feeling like I'm coming down with the cold. My hair was wet. It's dried now. See, I'm lovely now. Okay, we're dried. All right, but I've had to restart my computer 3 fucking times to be able to record this damn thing and deal with all this shit. So I hope that I can get this out and it's all going to be good and everything, and that the message resonates with people. And even if it doesn't, hopefully, you know, send this off, share it. Like this message here is obviously something someone or people need to hear or whatever. So again, thank you all for watching. As I usually always say, we've reached the end of the video. So if you've made it this far, please leave a purple heart in the comments below to let me know you're a real one. All right, but I do appreciate anyone that watches, regardless if it's the whole thing or part of it, whatever. All right. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you if I can talk. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye.